Afternoon, everyone. Everyone hear me okay? How are you doing? Right, so I'm Mark from Pointy. I'll just tell you a little bit about what we do, and then because this is growth stage, I'm going to get into some of the things that got us there, some of the sort of ingredients of that growth. So just to explain, first of all, what we do, I mean, we started Pointy because we noticed a problem. And the problem is that as the world is getting more digital, local retailers are starting to become invisible. So if you think about your local pharmacy, local bike shop, local bookstore, grocery store, those kind of stores often have no substantial online presence. They might have their opening hours online, but there's no way often to know what's for sale in those stores and what's currently in stock, except basically by the old-fashioned way, which is going into the store and checking or ringing the store. So those stores have a very weak digital presence, and we set out to solve that problem. So if you think about what happens, if you want to buy a specific product, but you don't know where that product is for sale, most people will pull out their phone and search for the product. And what you see when you search for a product is results from e-commerce retailers. You're going to see results from Amazon and maybe some large national brands. You're not going to see results from your local store. Now, a local store might have the product that you want available. It might be 5 minutes walk from your current location. But if you can't discover the information that the product is available nearby, then most likely you're going to buy the product online. The local retailer loses the sale. And it's also less convenient for the consumer too. Like, there are many things that I would like to buy by just walking into the store and getting them because it might be more convenient. I might want to check the color. I might want to talk to somebody. So those kind of purchases just couldn't happen because there's this friction problem where the information about what's available in the local stores wasn't present. And so we set out to solve that problem. And so I suppose that the question is, like, why has nobody solved this problem before? Because this problem is not new. And the issue is that gathering the data from local retailers is extremely hard. So the data about what products are stocked in retailers is sort of trapped in this fragmented set of legacy systems. So there's hundreds of different legacy systems that retailers are using to store the data, many different types of data formats, and all of these things are not connected to the cloud. So our kind of magic trick to solve this problem is this device you can see behind me called the Pointy box, and I've got one here. So it's a small device that attaches to the retailer's point of sale. So it connects to the barcode scanner in the store and also to the receipt printer. And the device is connected to the mobile phone network, and it basically syncs up the retailer's point of sale to the cloud. And our engineering team solved some very hard technical problems in order to make this device work everywhere. So it's a universal integration point that works with any retail point of sale system on the market, about 99% of what's on the market. And that's really the kind of trick that made Pointy into something that could scale and service like retailers worldwide. And so what happens when a retailer connects this device is that we're going to see the barcode numbers of the products that are in the store, and we're going to set up a website for that retailer listing all of the products in the store. And they don't have to do anything new. So this device connects to the barcode scanner, and the retailer is using their barcode scanner all day long, every day, as they make sales to customers, as they ring up inventory. It's just part of their normal process. So they don't have to change their behavior. The device is just passively fitting in with their normal daily business, and it's transporting the data back to the cloud, and we're going to create a digital representation of the store. And we manage all of the product data for the retailer. So finding the images, names, and descriptions of those products, we take on that work. Retailers used to have to do that themselves. So the retailer's experience really is they just physically connect this device, and that's it. They don't have to do anything else. They don't have to set up any software. They don't have to install, change any staff processes. They don't have to maintain it. They just leave this device connected, and it'll create a digital representation of the store with all the products in the store, whether or not they're currently in stock. And if they start selling a new product, it'll get added automatically. If they stop selling a product, it gets removed. Just keeping up a digital representation of the store with the live inventory. And so then when if a consumer if you're going back to do that search for that product that you want to find, you go to Google and you do a search. We work on making sure that these pages appear in SEO optimized. So if you're searching for some product near me, we're going to help those stores rank in those queries, and then local consumers who are trying to buy a product can come into the store and buy it locally rather than ordering it from an e-commerce retailer. It might be more convenient experience for the consumer and also better for the local retailer. And so that's how we started with this SEO and SEM optimized web pages for the retailer. But there's actually, there are other people in the ecosystem who've always, I think, wanted this retail data, but they just had no way to get it. And so one of the things that we did just announce over the summer was a partnership with Google, where Google is now using our data in their first-party search results. So what you can see behind me here is Google's knowledge panel, which you might have seen before. So if you search for a store by name, Google displays this knowledge panel with the address and the open hours of the store. And Google now has a new section in that knowledge panel called See What's in Store that shows you the live inventory of the retailer. And that's being powered by Pointy. And that data is also used in Google Maps and a couple of other places. And this is a free service for the retailer, so it's a really nice win-win because the retailer gets more exposure and Google gets an improved product, and Pointy gets to facilitate that relationship. And so this Pointy has grown extremely well. And so we just announced yesterday on Center Stage that Pointy is now used by 1% of retailers in the US, and also used in Canada, the UK, Ireland, Australia. And that's been that's been quite a long journey. We've taken 4 years to get there, but like with most of these exponential things, a lot of it really has only happened quite recently. So the company is still growing extremely fast. Thousands of retailers are joining every month, and we continue to increase that. So we think that this is just the start, but it's a nice milestone. So I guess I'll now sort of shift gear a little bit and tell you a little bit about some of the growth lessons that we've learned along the way. So I kind of break these down into a few things. So the first growth lesson really is make sure that you're solving the right problem. I mean, the fundamental reason that Pointy has grown is that we solve a problem that retailers have and they didn't have a good solution to. But when we started out, we didn't necessarily know that we were solving a problem. So the first thing we did, I mean, I spent weeks just walking into retailers before we started the company saying, how do you manage your inventory? Is this a problem you have? Would you use this solution? So just sort of getting a feel for your customers, how they think, that's sort of the basis of everything. I think the next thing that we spend a lot of time and effort on is reducing the frictions. So, I mean, if Pointy had come up with this solution, but it involved the retailer having to go and manually do data entry, we would never have got to the point we're at. So really obsessing about the frictions and making sure that like, there's very little behavior change, people can join your platform and go quickly. I mean, that's another really key ingredient of our growth. I think the third one that a lot of people don't really think of maybe as a sort of growth tactic, but really is making sure that you get the unit economics right. So there's no point in having a really nice low friction solution that everybody wants if the economics don't work. In order to scale something to a significant scale, you have to have the right customer acquisition cost, you have to have the right long-term value, all those things have to be in place. I think the fourth one that I'd sort of emphasize again, which maybe is not a traditional growth tactic, but is getting the team right. So we spent a long time hiring slowly, hiring really carefully, getting the right people to lead the right functions, and putting those right people in place is really the foundation for everything else, because the difference between the best people and people who are merely good is absolutely enormous, and that really makes it all work. And then I think the final thing is like the traditional sort of growth tactics, and this is sort of an area where we're in a fairly difficult growth segment, I guess. I mean, how many people here have read Peter Thiel's 0 to 1? A few people. So in the book, he talks about something called the Valley of Death. So on one end of the spectrum is the sort of marketing-driven growth. If you're trying to get app user installs and you might pay a few dollars per install, that sort of works as a marketing-led model there. On the other end of the spectrum is the big enterprise sales, where you're selling $1 million contracts to corporates. And then in the middle, there's what he calls the Valley of Death, where you're trying to sell a mid-range, mid-price product to SMB. And that's actually probably the hardest kind of sales, because you can't do it purely marketing driven, but you also can't employ a sales force to go and drive to your customers and physically talk to them because the value of the sale isn't big enough. And so getting the growth tactics right for SMB sales is very difficult, but it's also defensible when you do get it right. So we've kind of spent a long time thinking about the ingredients of that and thinking about all the different sort of the tooling. So we've built a lot of tooling to get that right. We've built a lot of culture into the sales team to get that right. It's a lot about measurement and iteration and really having a very data-driven process there in order to get that high volume sales right. And very little things really matter. So all the small ingredients are just a process basically of iteration, measurement, data. It's a very engineering-driven problem, and we're an engineering team. We didn't really know anything about sales and marketing, so we had to do this from the ground up, and that's proven to actually be quite a useful approach for us because we didn't take anything for granted, and we made a lot of mistakes, but they've led us gradually into in the right direction. So I think I'm just about out of time. Maybe I have time for one question if anyone wants to ask anything. And while we finish, I'll show you just a video of the product in use.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, don't be shy. Put your hand up. I'll come around with the microphone. Any questions? OK, Mark. Any news you want to leave us with?
I think that's it. Thank you very much,
OK,
everybody.
perfect. Thanks very much.